Have you been thinking about leaving California and wondering if Greenville, South Carolina could be a better fit for you and your family? If so, you're not alone. Over the last several years, my team and I have helped more and more people relocate from California to the upstate of South Carolina. We've worked with families from Los Angeles, Orange County, San Diego, Sacramento, San Jose, San Francisco, and throughout the Bay Area. And what's interesting is that almost every one of them says the same thing a few months after they move. And we wish we had done this sooner. Now, I'm not saying that California is a bad place to live by any means. California has beautiful weather, amazing beaches, incredible food, and some of the most recognizable cities in the world. For a lot of people, it'll always feel like home. But over the last several years, something has definitely changed. People started asking themselves a different question. Hey, is my quality of life better here? Can we have a better quality of life somewhere else? Maybe they're tired of paying a premium for everything. Maybe they're tired of spending hours sitting in traffic every week. Maybe they're wondering if owning a larger home is still possible without taking out an enormous mortgage. Or maybe they simply want a little more breathing room. And that's why Greenville has become one of the fastest growing relocation destinations in the Southeast. People come here expecting to find a quiet southern town, but instead they discover a city with a thriving downtown, incredible restaurants, beautiful parks, easy access to the Blue Ridge Mountains, and a growing economy in neighborhoods where their housing budget suddenly stretches much further than they imagined. But here's the thing. Moving across the country is a huge decision. Greenville isn't California, and it isn't trying to be. There are things you're probably going to love, and there's a few things you may miss. So in today's video, I'm breaking down the real differences between California and Greenville, South Carolina. We're talking about housing costs, property taxes, everyday expenses, traffic, job, lifestyle, weather, and what your money actually buys here. And by the end of this video, you'll have a much better idea of whether Greenville is the right place for your next chapter. What's up, everybody? I'm Brian O'Neill, also known as the Tattooed Agent. If this is your first time to the channel, welcome. Every week we create videos about what it's really like living in Greenville, South Carolina, and all the surrounding upstate communities, so you can make an informed decision before packing up and making the move here. Now, whether you're looking at Greenville, Greer, Simpsonville, Travelers Rest, Malden, Spartanburg, or somewhere else here in the upstate, this channel is designed to answer the questions people ask before they relocate. Now, this isn't just information I found online. My team and I help people relocate every single week. We've helped first-time buyers, growing families, retirees, military families, and remote workers make this move. And that means we get to hear what people expected before they arrived, what surprised them after they got here, and even the things they wish they had known before they made the move. So if that's the kind of information you're looking for, make sure you subscribe, because we release new videos every week covering everything you need to know about living in the upstate. Now, before we jump in, I wanted to mention one thing. California is a huge state, ginormous. Living in San Diego is completely different than living in Sacramento. Orange County feels different than Los Angeles. The Bay Area is different than Fresno. So this isn't about saying one place is better than the other. It's about helping you understand what your life could actually look like if you traded California for Greenville. Because while the numbers matter, they're only part of the story. And let's start with the biggest question I hear from people considering this move, and it is, why are so many Californians choosing Greenville in the first place? Let's get into it. One thing I've noticed after helping so many people relocate from California is that very few of them start by searching for Greenville. Instead, they start by asking a simple question. If we could live anywhere, where would we go? For some people, that question starts because of remote work. They realize they no longer have to live close to the office. Others are looking for a larger home, a backyard for their kids, and simply a place where life feels a little less hectic. Retirees are often asking where their savings will go further without giving up the things they enjoy. And what's interesting is that Greenville usually isn't the first place they research. Many people start looking in North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, or Florida. Then someone recommends Greenville. Maybe it's a friend who already moved here. Maybe it's a relocation video like this one. Or maybe they come across photos of downtown Greenville and decide to learn more. The more they research, the more Greenville starts checking a lot of boxes. They discover a walkable downtown with great restaurants, coffee shops, and parks. They see homes with more space they couldn't use before. They realize they're close to the Blue Ridge Mountains, lakes, destinations like Asheville, Charlotte, and Charleston. And they begin to understand why so many people have been making the move. Now, here's something that's important. Most of the Californians we've worked with aren't leaving because they dislike California. They still love the beaches, the weather, the food, and the opportunities it offers. The challenge is that many reached a point where they started asking whether the higher costs, the longer commutes, and faster pace of life were still worth it. They're not necessarily looking for the cheapest place to live. They're looking for a place where they can enjoy life a little more, a place where their money stretches way further, where they spend less time in traffic and more time with family, where homeownership feels more attainable and affordable. For a growing number of people, Greenville has become that place. And of course, that brings up the biggest question of all: what does your money actually buy here? So let's start with housing, because this is where most Californian buyers experience the biggest surprise. This is where the move starts to feel real. Imagine selling your home in California and bringing that equity to Greenville. Instead of choosing between space and location, you may be able to have both now. And instead of settling for an older home that needs major updates, you may find yourself looking for newer homes with open floor plans, large kitchens, bonus rooms, home offices, and outdoor living space. Many buyers are surprised by how quickly their wish list starts to grow. And suddenly, they're talking about a 3-car garage, a screened-in porch, a fenced-in backyard for the dog, a neighborhood pool, amenities, walking trails, or simply having enough room for family to visit during the holidays. One couple we helped relocate from Orange County laughed because they said they spent years dreaming about having a guest room, and after moving here, they had 2. But that's the difference many buyers experience. The conversation shifts from what can we afford to which home fits our lifestyle best. Now, it doesn't mean every home in Greenville is inexpensive. The market has grown, and some of the most desirable neighborhoods in the Upstate come with a premium price tag, and that's to be expected. But compared to many California markets, buyers often feel like they're getting much more value for the money they're already spending. And that's one of the biggest reasons Greenville continues attracting relocation buyers year after year. But who benefits the most from making that move? One of the biggest mistakes people make when comparing two places is focusing only on the purchase price. The monthly cost of owning a home goes far beyond just the mortgage payment. You also have property taxes, homeowners insurance, utilities, and just regular maintenance. Those expenses add up, and they're a big part of what determines whether a home feels affordable over the long run. And one thing many California buyers notice is that South Carolina generally has some of the lowest property taxes in the country for homeowner-occupied homes. Every property is different, so you'll always want to review the numbers for the specific home you're considering, but it's a difference many families appreciate once they start comparing monthly costs. I've had buyers tell me that after moving here, they weren't constantly wondering if another bill was about to throw off their budget. Instead, they felt like they finally had a little breathing room, and for some, that means saving more each month. For others, it means taking an extra vacation a year, investing for retirement, or simply enjoying life without feeling financially strapped. One family we worked with from the Bay Area told us that the biggest change wasn't their paycheck, it was what they finally felt like they could enjoy, what they earned, instead of watching most of it disappear into monthly expenses. That's something we hear quite often. Most people aren't moving because they're trying to become wealthy overnight. They're moving because they want life to feel a little less stressful. And that doesn't stop with housing. Many people begin noticing the difference in everyday life too. So let's talk about groceries, gas, restaurants, and the little expenses that quickly add up every month. Housing is usually the first thing people compare, but it's not the only place where Californians notice the difference. You're still buying groceries every week, filling up your gas tank, grabbing coffee, taking the family out to dinner, and paying for all the little things that come with everyday life. And while prices have gone up everywhere over the last few years, many people moving from California tell us they feel like their money simply goes further here. It isn't usually one big purchase that stands out. It's all the smaller expenses that begin adding up over time. One family we helped relocate from San Diego told us they stopped thinking twice about going out to dinner on a Friday night. It wasn't because they suddenly made more money, they just felt like they had more flexibility in their budget. And another thing people appreciate is that some of the best things to do around Greenville don't cost much at all. Spending an afternoon at Falls Park, riding the Swamp Rabbit Trail, visiting a local farmer's market, or hiking in the mountains can make for a great weekend without spending hundreds of dollars. And for many people, the move isn't just about saving money, it's about feeling like they can enjoy life a little more without constantly watching every dollar. But there's another benefit that people rarely think about before they move here, and honestly, it's the one we hear about the most, and that's time. So let's get into that. Now let's talk about something that doesn't show up on a cost of living calculator, and we all know what that is, and that's time. If you're coming from Los Angeles, Orange County, the Bay Area, or San Diego, there's a good chance traffic has become part of your daily routine. Planning your day around rush hours, sitting on the freeway for long stretches, and spending more time in your car than you like is just normal life for many Californians. Now, Greenville has traffic too. It's congested, but it's not in Atlanta. Anyone who's driven down Woodruff Road during rush hour knows exactly what I'm talking about. As the area continues to grow, traffic has become more noticeable than it used to be. But compared to many parts of California, it's a completely different experience. And one of our buyers from Orange County laughed the first time someone apologized for a 20-minute delay. They said, back home, we'd still be sitting at the same traffic light. And that's all about perspective. One of the biggest things people notice after moving here is that they stop planning their lives around traffic. Dinner with friends, running errands, or taking the kids to practice doesn't feel like an all-day event anymore. Instead of spending hours every week behind the wheel, they get their time back. And that's when people start talking less about money they've saved and more about the life they gained, because having an extra hour every day is worth a lot. But there's another surprise that catches almost every Californian buyer off guard. It's how close everything feels to your location. One thing that's easy to overlook until you live here is how connected the Upstate really is. You can live in Simpsonville, Greer, Travelers Rest, Malden, and still be in downtown Greenville in about 20 to 30 minutes on most days. Need to catch a flight? GSB International Airport's an easy drive from much of the area. Want to meet friends for dinner downtown? Head to the Peace Center? Spend the afternoon shopping or walking Falls Park? None of it feels like a major trip. That convenience changes how people live. One couple we helped relocate from the Bay Area, told us they started saying yes to things more often because getting there didn't feel like such a commitment. Whether it was meeting friends for dinner or driving into downtown for a festival, everything just felt easier. It's one of those lifestyle changes that doesn't show up in relocation guides, but it has a big impact on how people spend their time. And once people settle into that rhythm, they begin to understand why Greenville has become such a popular place to call home. Because while affordability gets people's attention, the lifestyle is what makes them stay. And let's talk about that next. Here's something I noticed after helping so many people relocate. People usually move to Greenville because of the numbers. They stay because of the lifestyle. Saving money might get Greenville on your radar, but once people have been there for a few months, that's usually not what they talk about anymore. Instead, they talk about slowing down. They talk about taking evening walks through the neighborhood, grabbing dinner downtown on a Tuesday night, spending Saturdays in the mountains, or meeting friends at a local brewery without spending half the day getting there. One family we helped relocate from Los Angeles told us they didn't realize how much stress had become part of their daily routine until they moved. They said life simply felt calmer. They weren't rushing from one thing to the next all the time, and they finally felt like they had time to enjoy where they lived. Now, Greenville isn't a sleepy town. There's plenty going on here, but compared to many larger cities, the pace feels more manageable. People wave to each other. Neighbors know each other's names. Community events bring people together, and while Greenville has grown tremendously over the last 2 decades, it has managed to keep much of the charm that attracted people here in the first place. That balance is one of the biggest reasons people fall in love with the area. It's a growing city with that small town friendliness. And one of the best places to experience that is downtown Greenville. So let's talk about that. Again, one of the biggest surprises is downtown Greenville. If you've never visited before, there's a good chance it's going to be different than what you're expecting. Many people hear South Carolina and picture a quiet downtown with a few local shops. Then they arrive here. They see Main Street lined with restaurants, outdoor dining, local boutiques, rooftop bars, coffee shops, public art, and one of the most beautiful downtown areas in the Southeast. Falls Park on the Reedy is really the centerpiece of it all. Having a waterfall, walking trails, gardens, and the Liberty Bridge right in the middle of downtown gives Greenville a look that is hard to find in cities this size. Throughout the year, downtown stays busy with festivals, live music, holiday events, art shows, and one of the largest Saturday farmers market in the region. One buyer we helped from San Jose told us they expected downtown to be a place they'd visit once in a while. Instead, it became one of their favorite places to spend weekends because there was always something going on downtown. And the best part, you can enjoy an evening downtown and still be home in 20 minutes or later, depending on where you live. And that's something a lot of former Californians really appreciate. And of course, no great downtown is complete without a great food. And that's another area where Greenville continues to surprise people, the food scene. If someone told you 20 years ago that Greenville would become one of the top food destinations in the Southeast, they probably would laugh you out of the building. Today, it's a completely different story. And whether you're looking for an upscale steakhouse, authentic Southern cooking, fresh seafood, international cuisines, rooftop dining, local breweries, Greenville has built a restaurant scene that's much stronger than most newcomers expect. And it's not just downtown anymore. Greer's, Simpsonville, Travelers Rest, and several other communities have developed their own collection of local favorites that residents keep going back to. And one thing many Californians tell us is that they love being able to enjoy a great meal without dealing with big city crowds, expensive parking, or hour-long drives just to get there. Now, I'll be honest about one thing. If you're coming from Southern California, especially areas known for incredible Mexican food, you may find yourself missing some of those longtime neighborhood favorites. California has one of the best Mexican food scenes anywhere in the country. That said, Greenville's food scene keeps growing every year and new restaurants continue opening as more people move to the area. For many people, exploring those local restaurants becomes part of the fun of living here. But after a great meal, one of the biggest advantages of living in Greenville is waiting just outside the city. So let's head outdoors. One of the biggest advantages of living in Greenville has nothing to do with your house. It's where you can be 30 minutes after you leave it. Greenville sits in a unique spot where you're close to just about everything. If you enjoy being outdoors, this area gives you plenty of options without having to plan an entire vacation. Within about an hour, you can be hiking in the Blue Ridge Mountains, exploring waterfalls, driving scenic mountain roads, or spending the day in a charming town like Travelers Rest or Hendersonville. If being on the water is more your style, Lake Kiwi, Jocassee, and Hartwell are close enough for an easy day trip. One family we helped relocate from Sacramento told us they couldn't believe how often they were getting outside after moving here. Instead of spending weekends recovering from a busy work week, they found themselves exploring new hiking trails, visiting small mountain towns, and enjoying places they had never been before. Another thing people love is how many great weekend destinations are within a driving distance. Asheville is about an hour, Charlotte's about an hour and 15, Atlanta's 2.5, and Charleston's about 3 hours away. So living in Greenville puts you in the middle of so many great places, which means your weekends can look completely different depending on what you're in the mood for. So of course, enjoying where you live is important, but so is building a career. So let's talk about one of the biggest misconceptions people have before moving here, and that's our job market. One question we hear all the time is, can I actually build a career in Greenville? The simple answer is yes. Over the last couple decades, Greenville has grown into one of the strongest economies in the Southeast. It's no longer just a manufacturing town. Today you'll find opportunities across healthcare, engineering, advanced manufacturing, logistics, technology, education, and professional services. Major employers like BMW, Prisma Health, Bon Secours, GE, Floral, Lockheed Martin have a significant presence here. Clemson University ICAR campus continues to attach research and development. Remote work has also changed the conversation. Many Californians we helped aren't moving because they found a new job. They're bringing their current job with them. That gives them the opportunity to keep earning California salary while enjoying a very different cost of living. One buyer we worked with from the Bay Area told us they felt like they got a raise without changing jobs because their monthly expenses dropped while their income stayed the same. And of course, everyone's situation is different, but that's one of the biggest reasons Greenville continues attracting professionals from across the country. And once people realize they can build a career, enjoy the lifestyle we've been talking about, the next question usually becomes, what kind of home can we actually buy here? After helping so many people relocate, I've noticed there are 3 groups that tend to benefit the most, and the first one is families. Many parents are looking for more space, a backyard, good schools, and neighborhoods where their kids can grow up without feeling cramped. Greenville offers a wide range of communities that make those goals much more attainable than in many California markets. Second group is retirees. Many are looking for a place where they can enjoy golf, restaurants, outdoor recreation, quality healthcare, and a lower overall cost of living while staying active year-round. The third group is remote workers and professionals. If your office fits inside a laptop, you have more freedom than ever before to decide where you want to live. That's one of the biggest reasons Greenville has seen so much growth over the last several years. One thing all three groups have in common is that they're looking for balance. Not necessarily a slower career, not necessarily a smaller city, just a lifestyle that gives them more flexibility, more time, and more value. But before we start packing those boxes, there's something else you should know. There is no perfect place, and this place is not perfect. As much as I love Greenville, I think it's important to be honest about the trade-offs. The first one is easy. If you love the Pacific Ocean, you are going to miss it. Yes, South Carolina has beautiful beaches, but they aren't 20 or 30 minutes away. They're weekend destinations instead of part of everyday life. Another adjustment is the weather. We do have 4 seasons here. Greenville experiences all 4 seasons, which many people love, but summers are warmer and much more humid than much of California. If you're used to dry climate, that may take some time to get used to. Some people also miss the size and variety of California's major cities, whether it's professional sports, large concerts, or endless entertainment options. Los Angeles and the Bay Area operate on a completely different scale. And finally, Greenville is a driving community. Public transportation is limited compared to many parts of California, so most people rely on their car to get around. One more buyer from Los Angeles told us the biggest adjustment wasn't the weather or the pace of life, it was realizing that stores close earlier than they were used to. It's a small change, but it reflects the overall pace of the community. And for many people, those trade-offs are absolutely worth it. For others, they may not be. And that's why I always encourage people to spend a few days here before making a final decision. You know, walk downtown, drive through neighborhoods, get a feel for the area, visit the grocery stores, explore the surrounding communities, experience what everyday life actually feels like, because that is the best way to know if Greenville is the right fit for you and your family. So is moving from California to Greenville really worth it? The answer really comes down to what you value most. If your dream lifestyle includes year-end beach weather, endless entertainment, and living in one of the biggest economies in the world, California may still be the perfect place for you. But if you're looking for more space, a lower overall cost of living, less time sitting in traffic, and a community where life feels a little more balanced, Greenville really deserves a serious look. After helping so many families make this move, I've noticed something interesting. People usually come here because of the house. They stay because of the lifestyle. They start out talking about home prices and monthly payments, and then a few months later, they're talking about evenings on the back porch, dinners downtown, meeting neighbors, and finally feeling like they have time to enjoy life again. And that's a lot of what Greenville offers. It isn't trying to be California. It's offering something different, you know? And for a growing number of people, different turns out to be exactly what they're looking for. Now, if you're thinking about moving to Greenville, Greer, Simpsonville, Travelers Rest, Malden, Easley, Spartanburg, or anywhere else in the Upstate, my team and I would love to help you make your move as smooth as possible. Whether you're relocating next month or just starting your research, feel free to give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email, or schedule a Zoom call using the information below. And before you go, I would love to hear from you. That's why we make these videos. If you were moving from California to South Carolina, what would be the biggest reason for your move? Let me know down in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.